I don't know, this is like a personal opinion, and this has to do with the portion of the show that y'all guys do. It's funny as hell, and when you came to Winston-Salem, I laughed my ass off, you know, with the Yo Mama Samurai. I laughed my ass off. I was thoroughly entertained by it. And then getting closer to Aaron during the trip, I'm thinking to myself, it is kind of a spoof on his ancestry and heritage, and I didn't know how he felt about it, but I look like I was really cool with a guy from Philadelphia who was a Native American, and I love the Cleveland Indians, and he was like really pissed about that. Like, we're not getting cash from that shit.
Oh, I will get you.
I mean, I work with a lot of kids, and I have a lot of friends with eating disorders, that's all. And I mean, I know it, part of my brain thinks, don't be ridiculous, because the spirit of the thing is humor, and I understand that, and you just get that twinge, I do anyhow, for a moment of like, what are the overweight folks in the audience who are really self-conscious, you know, the whole argument, so.
Oh, okay, we will play that way. Your mama is so fat, when she broke her leg, gravy came out. What do you think of that? Oh.
I'm the kind of person where I go to New Mexico and they think I'm Indian. You know, I go to Hawaii, they think I'm Samoan. So, I mean, this is kind of my evolution in my being. They don't even know where I'm from. So, you know, I say Japanese and that disturbs them.
Oh. And they suddenly bump into one another. Oh, this is a grave insult. They challenge each other to a poetic Yo Mama Samurai match. Oh, Yo Mama. Well, I have something to say about that. Oh. Take that. Oh. I will take your liver and I will cut it up and snort it like cocaine. What do you think of that?
Doing the dozens, it started in the black culture, and Your Mama is another form of playing the dozens.
I am on my knees. Now you on your knees. I am on my knees before your eminence, but first, I will tear out your intestines and jump rope with him.
I thought it was funny too, but you know, I come to it from a clearly white culture, okay? And I'm going, now wait a minute, I don't quite get this. Is this making fun of a culture, or is it making fun of those movies that we've seen all the time, where the voices are not in sync with the faces? So I didn't go there. Right. So I didn't go to the point where I say, oh, I get it. We're making fun of Japanese this week, okay? But then it went to the Yo Mama jokes, and I'm going, oh, that's pretty strange too, you know?
Your mama is so big, I had to roll over twice to get off the bitch.
I can take black jokes from blacks, but I don't like other people saying it. I don't like Caucasians saying nigger. You see what I'm saying? I would want somebody to give me a name and say, you're Sambo during the whole trip. You know? So you're Sambo while you're on this bus.
Oh, yes? Well, your mama's so fat, when she walks backwards, she goes beep, beep, beep.
I mean, she's a large woman who hears Yo Mama jokes all the time, and it makes her cry. Because when you say Yo Mama, you think of her. And so she has a piece where she tells a series of Yo Mama jokes, and then she tells you the emotional impact upon hearing those jokes.
Why have I been desexualized because of my size? And when was the last time you seen Aunt Jemima on the cover of Playboy magazine? I am not nurturing. I'm erotic. I am not strong. I am weak. Can't you tell by this vulnerable, pitiful ass poem I'm reading? And I don't ever want to have kids. My rage is interpreted as hysteria. And I don't care if you got Martin Lawrence doing his best impression of Nell Carter while my glass of water is half full of society's bullshit. I hate my thin sisters who say, well, girl, I may be black as hell, but at least I ain't fat. While she plays the dozens. Well, think of that. Your mama's so tears came pouring out.
With Indo-European Sanskrit carved upon my palms, and calloused footprints from the Nile singing slave songs in bondage. I am ancestrally Slavic with Croatian eyes widespread, and I grew from a family tree with African roots so deep that beneath my feet I broke the core of this planet Earth, and if I could, I would swallow the sun and give it birth in search of my self-worth as gray. Between black and white, I live gray. But some say half-breed, high, yellow, light, bright, crossbred. Red bone, banana tone, mulatto, quadroon, nappy head. Bubble bootied and big lip, but you can bet on this, I'm honey dipped and it's a butterscotch caramel kiss. With a ghetto strut, backed up by a queen strut, I'll be a true break in your bloodline. Down home drinking high tea with biscuits type of chick, while my people are pumping their black power fists and waving a Confederate flag in the other hand. I live gray. Between black and white as gray. And while they're wearing Malcolm X hats and swastikas on the KKK guns caps, eating bean pies and eclairs, living in the projects and trailer parks, driving low-riding Impalas and Cadillacs with those two sexy girls holograms in their rear window, you know the ones, sitting back to back. And bright red big body monster trucks with gun racks, and those same two girls only swinging on their tire flaps. And when my people speak in slang, they say things like, you fucking rock, dude, and that shit is tight, dog. But when they get mad at each other, they yell obscenities like nigger, honky, pickaninny, hillbilly, tar baby, redneck, peckerwood, coon, cracker jack, black spot, white trash, you want my white princess, you raped my black sister, I had black friends, but you stole this land, and then in unison, they say to one another, you hate me because you're not me, and then there's me. The gray one, who lives in a world between black and white that sometimes just refuses to contrast. And their mothers are maids, and their mothers have maids, and their father is a gambling numbers runner, and their father is a Wall Street stockbroker, and his son sells crack, and his son has a meth lab, and they love hip-hop and go to raves, and they have flat tops and mohawks, and they wear 24-karat gold chains, or just plain old chains with padlocks, and they have nose reductions and liposuction, or they wear control top gut tights, and hair extensions with highlights, and matching color contacts, and breast implants, and they bleach their skin and tan every other day. So what better way for me to be than gray with Indo-European Sanskrit carved upon my palms and calloused footprints from the Nile, singing slave songs in bondage. I am ancestrally Slavic with Croatian eyes widespread, and I grew from a family tree with African roots so deep that beneath my feet I probe the core of this planet Earth, and if I could, I would swallow the sun and give it birth in search of my self-worth as gray.
Like many men of a certain age, I am becoming concerned with my place in the world and what to do about excess ear hair. It was towards the end of my first Turkish haircut that I became aware it might hold the answers to both these questions. As I passed the barber shop, impulsively feeling in the need of a little Turkish trim, I stuck my head in the doorway and a teenager motioned me to sit down. I was surprised to find out that he was the barber and the 7-year-old with him was his assistant. Well, everything was going according to plan. Even with the language difficulty, when called upon, I would make the appropriate motion for short, or the buzzing sound of the razor clippers. I thought we're close to being done, when suddenly the haircut took off, like the first drop of a roller coaster, arms flailing, yelping, stomach flying. What flung me in this odd position was the ball of flame in my ear. I'd seen it out at the corner of my eye. The junior pyromaniac had a ball of cotton on a stick, a giant Q-tip. He dipped into a liquid, and with the flick of a lighter, it burst into flame. It dawned on me that this might be part of the Turkish haircut ritual. A big change from the hunt and fish and sports talk. that defines the American male clip bonding experience. As he plunged in the tiki torch, I smelled the stink of burning hair, my hair. Next, the barber took two thin strings and began to floss my face, eliminating any fuzz from my cheeks. Then he filled his hands with a lemon-scented oil and clamped down on my nose. As I gasped for breath and started to hyperventilate, I thought this might be a perfect technique for the panting dervish, a similar but lesser-known sect to Rumi's whirling dervish, who go into a trance to get closer to God, not by spinning, but by heavy breathing. Then I had an image of Rumi. I'd always wondered why he started to spin. Now I think I know the missing part of the story. He was having a haircut. His ears were on fire. If he didn't do something drastic, he'd fry to a crisp. So around in circles the master went until the flame was out. When your ears are being flambéed, you are closer to God. You see things. You know what Rumi means when he says, the light you give off does not come from a pelvis. No, it comes from an ear kebab. As I panted and jerked, providing great entertainment for the gang in the barbershop, the tonsorial teen pushed my head down into the sink, soaking me with ice-cold water. Then he pulled my head up and nuzzled me. I can't remember the last time a barber nuzzled me. Yanking my head back and forth, he attempted to pop the bones of my neck. And when that didn't work, he switched to karate chops, ending with a very traditional blow-dry and the spraying of manly echidna-flavored cologne. As my time in the mystic barber chair came to an end, I now know the most effective technique for the removal of unwanted hair follicles. Use fire! As for my place in the world, I keep thinking of those large chunks of turning skewered meat you see all over Turkey.
Dazed and confused, I sloshed through Pacific tides, rocking and rolling through embryonic island water, delivered from the sauna bench, grand slammed onto this America, a dry bamboo reed removed from monsoon water and Asian blood tea. And these white striped highways have me running like yellow lines stretched from New York to California, running from Uncle Sam's son into the arms of liberty, like Delilah, soothing my outlaw black mare into peaceful, poetic riverland. I become a tributary of the Colorado River, mixed like a margarita into the Rio Grande. I roll smoothly into the Taos Poetry Circus tent. I meet a bardic clown with a New Mexican chili whisker. He asked me to go further into the universe. You mean you and I in the verse? Verse meaning poetry rolling through cities like a bus in a nest, a bust out of the nest, a complete reverse, away from bill paying and complaint and comfort. Say what? A complete reverse. Verse meaning poetry, the original beatbox cry from the baby summertime style. He says, let's slam America, speaking poetic tongue rolling a many mile. So there I stand, California kid, haiku in pocket and improvs on the mind. A blue bus pulls up with a driver named Paul. He pulls us out of the Chico's stall to the furling ghettos, city lights across the bay, the city of oaks, where we read poetries on a sweet Thursday. We are pearls galloping on a red pony across boilers that stink of Cannery Row. We wash the Mexican toe bloody ties in the Pacific Grove like tortilla flats where Jose soaks his words in long California thighs. We are read by Henry's Hollywood Hills, where Atlas holds a cup of gold language. He leaves us with bad LA water. It carries us through the desert, where we meet a cat named Billy Gordon. And this guy tips us off. You'll find a dreadlock Latino warrior in Santa Fe talking about a fat man at the inn in Alameda. We looked at the stars. Poets love stars. So we catch up with Galileo, who is hanging in the OK City, hanging with Lord of the Vibes, trying to keep us there. When we really knew we had to meet the superhero who would rarefy this rolling original feeling, this familiar red room that pours from all of us like mercury over the Austin lounge, like a glass, a Grand Marnier split between Texas and Louisiana, rolling like universal soldier rivers, back into the red room of New Orleans, where we meet a rapping jambalaya singing talking bean named Ryan. He rides an alligator to the town that is brave enough to speak poetry on the crescent waves of Atlanta, moon shining on Tobacco Road, guiding us like the light in the morning dew, slamming us into the sweatshop again, the bargaining room in Knoxville, Tennessee, and the East Coast became a whirling dervish, St. Louis, Chicago. The original green mill poured us into Ann Arbor, Detroit, Cleveland, D.C., Baltimore, New York, Boston, Cape Cod, Providence, Rhode Island, fire in the water, a gathering of poets. 360-degree family, a gathering of mixed color moves, a bounce and a shifted gear beyond competitive arenas into the new territories where we know now cross-cultural communication is here in America, where my bloody Asian rag is misplaced, erased yellow soul takes his intermined broken speech and turns into stories I spin with a cancer champion grin, tales of Papa dead and a mama samurai who lives beautiful after she has been slammed by this American hand, abandons newsstand that ought to listen to the universe's wind. You and I in the verse blowing shakuhachis as zen from a Buddha belly full of wisdom to be poetry deep within.
I don't know nothing about poetry. About halfway through the tour, I started speaking in haiku. Here's one. Fire truck drive on by, no taillights, a bunch of people on it.